Should you really buy the new 4090? Of course not. But which one should you really buy? If you're looking for high performance gaming, I would not suggest the 4090. Most games don't even need a 4090 to run on max graphics. I would have suggested the RTX 3090 if it wasn't for the AMD RX. The AMD RX 7900 XTX graphics card is better in almost every way than the RTX 3090 for an even lower price at just $1,000, compared to the RTX 3090 coming in at $1,600. The 4090 of course is better, although only around 1.5 times better, but the price is 2 times greater. So for this scale, I'll say if you're looking for high performance, go for either the AMD RX 7900 or the 4090 for max performance. For the best value, I would suggest the RTX 4070 Ti or the 3080 Ti at the price of $780 for the RTX 4070 Ti and $670 for the RTX 3080 Ti. The RTX 4070 Ti will be capable of running most games on a clean 60 to 120 FPS on max graphics at 1440p resolution. Let's take Red Dead 2 for example. The 4070 Ti will run at more than 100 frames per second most of the time, but for the 3080 Ti will run over 80 frames per second in most games. In Red Dead 2, the 3080 Ti will sit at around 90 frames per second on average. These two are really about preferences. Disclaimer: this isn't really medium budget, it's pretty low, but offers really good specs and value for the price. For medium budget and performance, I really would recommend the 3070 or 4060 Ti. The 3070 is probably the best graphics card for a low price of just $350, and the 4060 Ti is even cheaper at just $330. I wouldn't really buy any of the AMD Radeon graphics cards at this level of price, as they are not worth the money compared to their specs. But feel free to comment if you disagree. Sorry, went a little off track. Where were we? Oh yeah, the RTX 3070. The RTX 3070 is basically all you need if you're just looking to get over that 60 FPS benchmark. In Red Dead 2, at almost max graphics and 1440p resolution, the RTX 3070 is steady at around 70 FPS. The RTX 4060 Ti also has no problem getting over 60 FPS in every game. In Red Dead 2, it gets an average of 66 to 68 FPS on max graphics and 1440p. For a really low budget at just $140, the GTX 1660 Ti is basically the only graphics card I would recommend. I myself have a GTX 1660, but I can't say it's any good. On tests, it says that the GTX 1660 Ti can run a lot of games on 60 FPS, on high graphics, and on 1080p. And at this level you might not even be looking for super high graphics, so at low or medium graphics it should in theory be enough. In Halo Infinite for example, the test uses low graphics, and the 1660 Ti can easily keep the frame rate at a steady 80 to 90 FPS. And I mean, that's great, but I can't say this myself. I don't even have 1080p. I don't know, maybe mine is just weird. But at this level, you also need to keep in mind that the graphics cards evolve super quick, and the 1660 Ti might not be able to keep up for long before you need a new one. Of course, there are other factors also impacting your FPS on different games, like RAM, VRAM and resolution. And it also boils down to what graphics you are going for. You of course don't need an RTX 4090 if you're going to play Minecraft all the time. And how long you want to keep the same graphics card is also important. The 1660 Ti will not give you 60 FPS for games in the near future, as the development is so rapid. How do you think the 1660 Ti will work on GTA 6? Comment below. You also can't have a very bad processor compared to a super good graphics card. The processor will bottleneck the graphics card, meaning that the processor is going to run at 100% all the time, while the graphics card will only run at maybe 50%. Which means you will still get low FPS, no matter what graphics card you have. And I will have you another time.